is going on YouTube? How many times am I going to have to say that before I can just come up with something else better to say? Today we are going to be continuing our top 10 lists, and we are going to do something a little bit different than our first list. This is the top 10 list of games that almost no one thinks of that we need to see in HD. Number 10 on our list is Cruisin' USA. Now, Cruisin' USA originally came out in arcades, and it was like a huge success. So they decided to make a console version of it. Typical, right? I think that that game hasn't been touched in, what, when did they release Cruisin' Exotica? I have no idea. But you want to know what? You have to think, when they released that last game, that was probably the last one of the Cruisin' series, I guess. So to see a remake of that original game would be awesome. I love the game. I like the soundtrack. The soundtrack's great. I just think it's, some of the songs are kind of funny. No, but to be able to see the different tracks in HD and be able to see the different cars that you could choose would be so awesome. Number 9 is Shadows of the Empire, a Star Wars spin-off game for the Nintendo 64. Now, I love this game. I think it's a great storyline. It's one of my all-time favorite Star Wars games, and you just get dragged into the story. It's like unavoidable. A couple levels really suck, like the land speeder level or something like that, but to be able to see the Battle of Hoth in the style they did it in Shadows of the Empire, but in HD, unbelievable. And to be able to see the different like levels flying across the cannon and your jetpack and everything like that in HD, that'd be unbelievable. It would be absolutely gorgeous, first of all. Second of all, it would just be so much fun. And you want to know what? You could probably use the gamepad as like a first-person perspective in certain parts of the level, because you have all these cool different camera angles that you can choose from. You could probably use the gamepad as one angle, and then the TV as your second angle, like your third-person angle. I think that'd be so cool. That'd be such an innovative way to play a game like this. And I just think that, you know, you have to collect all the challenge points and everything. I just think it'd be a great game to play in HD. Number 8 is Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, or whatever it is. I think that this Kirby game is so much fun. Literally, the best thing that you can do in this game is go through all the different like power-ups and combinations of power-ups. You can get 2 different power-ups at a time in this game. I think it's awesome how you can literally spend like 20 minutes just sitting around trying all these different combinations. My favorite one is the fireworks one with the bomb mixed with the fire. My favorite one. But it's weird because that game was actually a 2D scroller, but the way they made it be a 3D game and have them kind of like go around and stuff like that was really cool. You kept the 3D aspect, but at the same time it was still 2D, like you can only go left and right. So seeing that in HD would actually be really cool. And honestly, I didn't like Return to Dreamland too much. Sue me. Number 7 is Star Fox 64. Now the reason why I put this in the list that nobody thought of is because everybody thinks of Star Fox 64 on the 3DS, and you want to know what? People are kind of putting that whole thing to bed, and they want to focus on other Star Fox games, just like with Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. But you want to know what? Star Fox 64 is the best Star Fox game in the entire series, hands down. I still play that game all the time, and to see that in HD would just be awesome. Flying through the meteor asteroids and all that stuff, flying through like fighting Andross in HD, that'd be so sick. Fighting Starwolf and everything like that. Doing that, what is it, that satellite level that looks like a Christmas tree when it's blowing up. That's a good one too. Number 6 is something that I'm pretty sure nobody has thought of except for me. Can't really say that, but Pokemon Snap. Now I remember when the game first came out and they had these printing booths where you can print out your actual pictures from the game, and everybody was just blown away by that. Not to mention a Pokemon game where you're not fighting, where you're not free to roam around in an open world wherever you want, like you're not catching Pokemon? What kind of a game is this? But you want to know what? It's probably one of my favorite games in the entire Pokemon series. I can't say that. Pokemon Red though, oof, it's a good game. Anyways, imagine being able to capture pictures of all these different Pokemon in HD. Now, I don't want to add any other Pokemon to the game. I don't want to do like a Pokemon Snap 2 where you have 7,000 different Pokemon. I'm talking about the original 151 Pokemon. Yeah, 51, I said it. New counts. But the original game in HD would just be so much fun. And honestly, they don't even have all 151 Pokemon in the game. So if they were to be able to even extend the game to past what you originally had the game and be able to capture all 151 Pokemon on camera, that'd be unbelievable. Posting to Miiverse, you could post your awesome pictures of Pokemon at Miiverse. You could do anything you want. You should be able to send them to your email so you can print out the pictures just like in the old days. That would be so sick. That would be so much fun. But you want to know what? The only way you can play it is either you have the old game. I don't even know if it's available for download because I know that they don't have N64 games yet, but I don't even know if they have it on the Wii. Number 5 would go great around this time because it has to do with a game that's coming out soon, and that game is Yoshi's Woolly World. So the game that I'm talking about is Yoshi's Story. Now if you look at the graphics for the Nintendo 64 in Yoshi's Story, it's unbelievable. You have to look at like Super Mario 64 and then look at Yoshi's Story. If you look at the graphics between the two, it's like two different systems. It's unbelievable what they did with the cartridges to get such smooth like textures and stuff, and like the heart going back and forth and everything like that. It's like, I think it's unbelievable what they did in Yoshi's Story, and to see that in HD alongside Yoshi's Woolly World, I mean, that would just blow everybody's mind away. Blow everybody's mind away? Number 4, you kind of have to think outside the box here. But number 4 is The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now, I know that like people are starting to think that I'm crazy here, but you have to picture this, okay? If you play Ocarina of Time, when you go into houses, they have the above view and third-person view, okay? What if they took that feature from Ocarina of Time and put it through the entire game of The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past? Just think about that. Third person, A Link to the Past. Not overhead, third person. Being able to be behind Link as he's going through the Sanctuary dungeon, or seeing Zelda standing right in front of you as opposed to up here like it would be in overhead view, or being able to cut down the bushes right in front of you as opposed to, you know, seeing overhead, or seeing Kakariko Village from the perspective of right behind Link. That'd be unbelievable. To be able to actually fight Ganondorf, or Ganon, whatever you want to call him in that game, I don't even know what they call him in that game. Be able to fight him in third person with how difficult it is to throw the fire rod to light the lamps. That would literally be one of the coolest things Nintendo has ever done. If they did that. They're probably never going to do it, but that'd just be unbelievable. Number 3 is Super Mario RPG. Now everybody kind of gets on everybody else's case about, is there a Super Mario RPG 2? Because everybody says, oh, Paper Mario is a continuation of that. No, it is not. Paper Mario is not a continuation of Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG is my #1 favorite Super Mario game that's not, like, I can't even say that. I don't have a favorite Super Mario game. They're all my favorite. But you want to know what? Super Mario RPG is one of the most unique games. I beat it so many times. It's so much fun. And I think that if they were to put that in HD, or even in third-person view, like in Super Mario 64 in HD, that would be just ridiculous. I wouldn't even have anything to say about that. My mind would be blown. Because it's like, you have to think how in-depth that game is, especially for being Super Nintendo. And then putting that in HD, it would literally be like beyond ridiculous. Not to mention that you have characters that are literally unique just to that game. Not to mention like how many times people have tried to get these characters back into the Nintendo universe. You have to look at like, what is it, Geno, whatever you call him. Okay, he was only in that game and he was never seen again. Like, how upsetting is that to some people? He's one of the coolest characters that isn't like the original Mario series that's like ever been made. Yeah, and then you have Malo or Mallow, whatever people call him. He's a unique character too. And they have like a whole race that they created for Super Mario RPG that... I'm doing a video! But they made an entire race of people just for this one game. And they have yet to touch those people ever again. At least to my knowledge. So it's like, you have all these awesome characters, all these awesome levels, Nimbus Land, and the Barrel Volcano, and the Axum Rangers, and who else? Frogfucius, Todovsky, who else? Who else? Jonathan Jones, Yardovich. You have Rosetown, Seaside Town, you have Moleville. That's another entire race of people that have never been seen again. They're just in this one game. And they totally just need to just either go back to the game, make a second sequel to it that actually has to do with the first one, or something. I mean, come on, you have Smithy, one of the coolest final bosses that Nintendo's ever created, and where is he now? Where is he? I mean, you have to look at that game itself. Right now, you can't get it for less than like $70. But I have it. Number 1. So before we get into the number 1 spot here, I'm just going to throw out some honorable mentions because this is just a couple games that I couldn't fit into the list that I think would still be really awesome to put in a HD remake. Number 1 is Diddy Kong Racing. I mean, that's a great game. And they don't have a Diddy Kong Racing 2, and they never go back to Diddy Kong Racing ever again. Why? It sold great, it was a great game, it was wicked fun. Why not make an HD version? Or you want to know what, better yet, why don't you make a Diddy Kong Racing 2? I think they were going to go with the whole Diddy Kong over Donkey Kong thing, because everybody likes Diddy Kong. Like, who doesn't like Diddy Kong? Name one person that doesn't like Diddy Kong. The next game I'm going to talk about is Bomberman 64. Now, I like Bomberman Hero, it's okay, but you want to know, Bomberman 64 was like the first game that I saw Bomberman in not HD, but 3D. And I think it's a great game. It's extremely hard to get everything and do all the quests and stuff, especially hitting the right time that you have to hit. I think it's unbelievable to get all those gold cards and everything. Putting that in HD would be great. Now this last game should have been like 11th, if I did 11, and that is Donkey Kong 64. That is one of the coolest games that has ever come out for the Nintendo 64. It literally took Donkey Kong Country and just like scrambled it all up and made a completely new game. Not to mention, we have 3 characters that you only see in this game and very little in other games, and that is Lanky Kong, Chunky Kong, and Tiny Kong. You have these 3 characters that are supposed to be like, what are they, cousins or something like that, and they never touch them ever again after this one game. Yeah, they put Tiny Kong in something, but you want to know what? It doesn't matter. We want another Donkey Kong game with all these characters, right? Am I wrong? Like, who doesn't love Donkey Kong 64? Yeah, it's like different than the original Donkey Kong Country series, but you want to know what? It's a good different. It's like Super Mario 64 different from Super Mario World, you know? Number 1 is my number 1 favorite game on this console and in this series, and that is Metroid Prime. You know what? I'm not even going to say just Metroid Prime. I'm going to say the entire trilogy. Why? Because the trilogy is unbelievable. And you want to know what? They say that they're going to make a 4th one, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And they made a trilogy disc that is literally one of the most expensive and rare Wii discs that you can get nowadays. Almost as rare as Xenoblade Chronicles. The game already had phenomenal graphics. And then you have Other M, which is okay, but I don't really need to see that in HD. But the original trilogy, putting that trilogy in HD would be so awesome, especially if they're releasing number 4. They could release the trilogy and number 4 as like a whole special thing. That would be the coolest thing that Nintendo has ever done. I know I keep saying that over and over again, and you know, they just need to make all of these. They need to make every one, even in the other video, because like, people say that they don't want to see HD remakes, but you want to know what? They sell. I mean, look at Wind Waker. That's selling really good. I mean, like, they're saying, oh, what do you want to see as HD remakes? What do you want to see as HD remakes? But instead they make 3DS remakes. Like, we don't want that, we want HD. I've said it like 10 times, we want HD. So pretty much that's my own opinion on games that not a lot of people or no one at all have thought of putting in HD. And I hope you guys agree with my list. If not, I don't really care. But what do you guys think that you would like to see in HD? I want to know games that nobody thought of to put in HD. Because everybody's thought of some games, right? I mean, come on. But anyways, stick around because we actually have a bunch more videos similar to these that I'm going to be doing. And I'm just hoping that you guys really enjoy these new videos that I'm putting out. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Like, who doesn't like Diddy Kong? Name one person that doesn't like Diddy. One person. Number 7 is Star Fox. That's 8.